What happens when a top military trainer leaves the Indian Army to become a principal in a rural school? Hi, and welcome to Look Like Love Movie Recap channel. Today, I'll be summarizing the movie Raatchasi. Before we begin, please give us a like to support the channel. Geeta is a skilled army trainer and a pride of the Indian military. One day, she suddenly decides to quit the army. Everyone is shocked, especially since she has a bright future. When her commander asks why, she says she wants to become a teacher. But instead of teaching at a top city school, Geeta chooses to work at a poor, rural school. On her way there, villagers are surprised. Tuk driver tells her the school is more like a messy market full of chaos, with students fighting over caste and teachers doing nothing to stop it. Some teachers even cause more problems. When Geeta arrives, she sees students buying cigarettes openly, and the school building is old and damaged. There's no discipline because the teachers aren't doing their jobs. Some gossip, some watch TV dramas, and some leave school for personal errands. Worse, some teachers force students to do their work and earn money through corrupt ways. While walking around, Geeta meets a poor villager who wants to enroll their child. But when she politely asks for an application form, the staff is rude and tells her to wait for the vice principal, who hasn't come in yet. When he arrives, he demands an overpriced fee, clearly trying to steal money. Geeta scolds him because she's not just any teacher, she's now the school principal. Geeta rings a bell to gather the students and announces that things will change. No one will jump the fence, and no one student or teacher can come late anymore. Everyone must follow the rules strictly or face punishment and even legal action. Her strict style makes many teachers unhappy except one, teacher Sukira, who has always done her job well. As a former army trainer, Geeta is highly disciplined and fearless. She removes bad practices immediately, like tearing down the wall built for the previous principal's privacy. Later, she warns the shopkeeper not to sell cigarettes to students. When he refuses and mocks her, she destroys the shop in anger, scaring the students back into school. Her toughness becomes the talk of the school, and the students start seeing her as a superhero. But Geeta also has a kind side. She eats lunch with the children and shares her food. For kids who fear her, she shows care and kindness, becoming like an angel to them. The next morning, instead of boring flagpole exercises, Geeta plays fun music and lets students dance. She also invites them to school on Sundays, not for classes, but for fun activities based on their talents and interests. Many students join to show what they're good at. Then we meet Rama, the owner of a private school. To him, school is just a business to make money, and smart students are only for promoting the school. He wants people to give up on public schools. So his school becomes the only choice. But Geeta's reform threatens his plans, so he wants to get rid of her. Though teachers and students now fear and respect Geeta, one student still disobeys. He's the son of a politician, MP, and he always calls his dad when he has problems. But Geeta bravely confronts both father and son. Eventually, the boy listens to her, and Geeta becomes famous for standing up to the MP. Next, Geeta asks the parents to help fix the school. At first, they refuse, but after she explains how important the school is, they agree. Soon, the school looks much better. Geeta also joins classes to check the quality of teaching and finds out it's very poor. Some teachers don't know the subjects, like the English teacher who can't speak English or the math teacher who teaches without purpose. The science teacher doesn't dare to do experiments. So Geeta gives all of them a deadline: improve within 30 days or get fired. The teachers then work very hard to meet the standards. The physical education teacher, however, thinks his subject isn't important. He usually lets kids just play around. When he sees Geeta, He pretends to teach, but Gita isn't fooled. She wants students to learn teamwork, competition, and develop sports talents, so she tells him to improve too. Lastly, the vice principal, who once had all the power, is upset because Gita took that away. He also wants her gone. After it was discovered that Gita was appointed as the school principal by direct order from the central government, even though she was still young, the vice principal suspected she had bribed her way into the position. He planned to use this against her. However, Gita acted first and suspended him because many female students and teachers had complained that he was sexually harassing them. In this school, exams were used to measure reputation and quality. But instead of helping students improve, many teachers chose to fail weak students on purpose to maintain high academic results. This unethical approach ruined many students' futures. When Gita learned of this, she scolded the teachers. They defended themselves by saying those students weren't capable. Gita replied that if they could only teach smart kids, they didn't deserve to be called teachers. Gita then ordered grade adjustments to help the failed students pass and called back those who had dropped out. This made students and their parents very happy. Her efforts restored people's faith in public schools, and her ideas began to spread to other schools. Rama, who ran a private school, saw this as a threat to his business. He went to Gita's home to intimidate her, but her father stood up to him without fear, showing where Gita got her courage from. The next day, a district officer came to investigate Gita, but instead saw impressive improvements. He respected her and warned that someone was trying to bring her down. Gita suspected it was Rama. Meanwhile, the vice principal partnered with a politician to send thugs to attack Gita at school. They didn't know she was a tough former military trainer, so she easily fought them off. Later, a student gang fight broke out. The male teachers did nothing, so Gita had to intervene by spraying water to stop them. The conflict stemmed from deep-rooted caste division, and a woman named Fidama used it to provoke more unrest, hoping to trap Gita into taking on a sensitive issue that could turn villagers against her. Still, Gita boldly tackled the caste issue head-on by burning symbols of division. The next morning, villagers who valued caste protested to demand her resignation. But instead of avoiding confrontation, Gita explained her reasons and won many of them over. One day, Gita's former military student visited and revealed to others that Gita was once a high-ranking officer. That explained her strength and skills. It also scared the math teacher, who had secretly caused the student gang fight. Gita later called him in, but instead of punishing him, she assigned him to train students for a district competition. Through this, he discovered the joy of being a real teacher. During school sports events, Gita also stepped in to ensure fair judging, so students' hard work wasn't wasted. As her school's achievements grew, Rama became more desperate. A plan was made to offer Gita money during a school event to get her to leave her job and join a private school. She refused firmly, no matter how much money was offered. One morning, Gita found that her beloved father had passed away. Though she was deeply saddened, she returned to work that very afternoon, something only a few, like teacher Sukira, understood. Sukira comforted her, knowing her devotion to teaching kept her going. Later, Rama used the exam system to target Gita by trying to block the returnee students from taking the exam, citing legal issues. Luckily, the math teacher who had changed for the better warned Gita about the plan. She then asked a politician for help, the same one whose troublesome son she had once reformed. Grateful, he helped ensure the students could take the test. Even during school holidays, Gita and Sukira continued working. Sadly, it was Sukira's last day before retirement. She shared that her late son once studied here and had planned to teach too. Gita then revealed that her son had been her lover, the reason she left the military to become a principal. Not long after, Geeta was arrested for abusing her authority by adjusting student grades. Rama was behind the complaint. But before she could be taken to court, crowds of students and villagers protested to support her. The police dared not act due to the media attention. While they protested, the exam results were released. The students passed with good scores, including those Geeta had helped. These results proved her actions were justified, and the court dropped the charges. In the end, the story shows that a true teacher never labeled students as failures or incapable. Instead, they must accept that student success or failure is their responsibility as educators. If you like this story, click like. For more videos, subscribe. See you next time.